Friends, so in my previous video I spoke about vortex math and the pattern of the physical dimension, how it makes a circle, like an infinite spiral essentially, and how 3, 6, and 9 sit outside of that pattern, with 9 being like the center point, or the observer, the God number as it's referred to. And this connects to sacred geometry. Let me explain what sacred geometry is, like kids. So imagine that the whole universe, the stars, the trees, your body, and even snowflakes, are built using a secret magical Lego set. Sacred geometry is essentially the study of that Lego set. Sacred geometry is essentially the belief that certain shapes are the blueprints for everything in creation, showing that everything is connected by perfect patterns. And if you look in nature, you can see this pattern repeating. So think about seashells, a tornado, a snail shell, how sunflowers grow, even beehives, which make perfect hexagons to grow their honey, to hold their honey. And a hexagon is one of the strongest shapes in the world. Even when water drops down, it spreads in a circular fashion. And there's something called the flower of life, which is basically a bunch of overlapping circles that make a flower shape. But it is believed, and it's probably true, that this single pattern contains the blueprint for all living things. And I'll put that on the screen. Even the circular shape represents unity, that everything is connected in one big family. Another shape in sacred geometry is the triangle, which represents balance, right? And so flower petals tend to be triangular. Tulip buds, seed casings, lily pods, plant leaves, clovers, you get the picture. So when you put sacred geometry and vortex math together, right, and we'll use that same Lego set as an example, vortex math and sacred geometry together are like the instruction booklet for that Lego set. They show how all the pieces fit together, spin, and grow. So vortex math shows how the energy flows, that it doesn't flow in a straight line, right? It flows in a circular dancing pattern, with 3, 6, and 9 sitting outside the loop, controlling the pattern. And those numbers are thought to be the key to all energy in life. So you can refer to vortex math as the dance, and sacred geometry as the shape of the dance floor. So the 1, 2, 4, 8, 7, 5 pattern that represents the physical, the energy flow in the physical dimension that creates the shape, the circular shape, with 3, 6, and 9 being like the boss numbers that are like the invisible energy that holds that shape together. So if you took the flower of life and you made it into a 3D torus, the donut shape, the vortex math numbers show how energy flows through it with the spiraling inward and outward. So you can think of vortex math as the vibe, 3, 6, and 9, and sacred geometry is the vessel or shape that holds it. And sacred geometry follows a numerical pattern as well, which is commonly found in the Fibonacci sequence, or the golden ratio, which is 1.618. So the Fibonacci sequence is determined by adding two numbers together, right? And so the number you get is the two preceding it. So you start with 0. So 0 plus 1 is 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus 1 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 3 is 8. 8 plus 5 is 13. And then you get the digital root, 1 plus 3 is 4. And you keep going. And this sequence represents the divine proportion, natural growth, and cosmic order at which things grow. So it essentially utilizes all the space, right? When a flower creates seeds, they're not all spread out and willy-nilly. There's a pattern and it's very tight-knit to maximize the space. It makes it efficient. So these divine proportions appear in nature, in architecture, in art, and they're included in the golden spiral and platonic solids. And they represent beauty and structural harmony. And I'll explain more about the Fibonacci sequence and the golden ratio together and how that works with like cell division and other things. So the universe has a pattern, right? Nature has a pattern. Life has a pattern, several patterns that fit together, and they all are interconnected, just like we are. So I've put the resources in the description. And so I would recommend you learn more about this. The more you know the truth of creation, the more power you have over your own life, and it will start to unlock divine wisdom. You'll start to rewire your nervous system in your brain, and start to undo some of this programming that has been put into us to focus on things that don't matter. So, okay, high five your friend, and let me know if you have any questions.